Hey, my beautiful humans, and welcome back to another episode of Aligned and Thriving for Teachers. It is your resident organizer in chief, Mel, here with a good cuppa and a collection of absolute pearlers. So, this is going to be good. This episode is going to make things funny. I'm just going to jump on it. Today, we're diving into things I never thought I'd have to say in a classroom. Plus, maybe some of the weirdest things kids have ever lobbed back at me. No filter, pure comedy gold. So buckle up. You might snort laugh in the staff room if you're listening there, but this is what a normal person should never really need to say or hear at work. But yet, we as teachers, we do this on the daily. Let's start with number one, the bodily function bonanza, I'd like to call it. This is the classics. Okay, who farted and did you follow through? Because the smell is bordering on hazardous materials and the culprit is giggling so hard that their chair is vibrating. You've probably had that happen to you before in a classroom, or, and this is very much a TMI moment, or you have had to do said dropping your guts and walking away, and then they blame it on the other students in your class, and you're going, oh, ha ha ha. That works really well in a high school setting, just so you know. I actually had an AP who did that really well. She was very gassy, I have to say, but she would very much do something like that, and then the kids would blame each other in the class. So you might get away with those things too. You might also have one of these situations. What is that wet patch on the floor? In teaching, there's only usually two options. It's either a leaky water bottle or, sadly, a bodily fluid. And may the odds be ever in your favour. Depending on the class that you are teaching, lower down grades, I'd be opting for bodily fluids. Higher up, I'd be really hoping that it was the water bottle. But if you told 15-year-old me that I would one day have an internal scale for it's probably just water versus I need a biohazard kit, I probably would have just laughed in your face. But now I honestly have a record of the times I've had to do this. Number two, the area of stop doing weird things with my clothes saga. Here's a good one for you. While teaching my beautiful little prep class who don't understand the meaning of a boundary, even when I put a physical hula hoop on the floor around my feet when I was sitting on the chair reading a story, I had to look down at my shoe and politely tell my young little human, please stop licking my shoe. And those gorgeous little blue eyes looked up at me and said, I just wanted to know what it tasted like. Yeah, friends. That 5-year-old was suction cupped to my sneaker like a Dyson. Why? Because it smelt like rubber and he just wanted to know what it tasted like. Fair point, right? No, please get out of my bubble. I did talk to him very nicely and remind him that I have a bubble for a reason. Remember to stay out of the little bubble and my shoes are inside my bubble. So please don't lick my shoes again. Then you get the classic, oh, no, my skirt is not a tent. We're not hiding in there. Nor is my skirt a cozy reading area or a blanket fort or a portal to Narnia, although one kid was very convinced that climbing inside my jacket would get him there. Spoiler alert, he only found that I smelt like my deodorant and decided to comment on that instead. Because you can't get to Narnia by hiding inside my jacket. He learnt that the hard way. But yes, if you are going to teach early childhood, in particular kindergarten classes, you might find yourself having those discussions with those tiny humans and reminding them that your clothes are not a place for hiding. And do remember to wear, what's the word? Like leggings, tights, that's what I was thinking of, under your skirts and dresses when you are teaching in that space, because you never know who wants to go exploring. Wow, that sounds really bad when I say that out loud. But I hope you understood what I meant there and where that was heading. Oh gosh. Let's go to the high school upgrade instead. It's the same vibe, just a different wardrobe, really. You might walk past the teens and, yep, this is talking from experience. Oh, miss, that skirt's a bit of a sheen dupe. My Insta OG said that the pleats are closest together, so I can tell yours is a dupe. Yes, I really liked walking through those corridors because I would always get a really good commentary on the clothes that I was wearing. I'm pretty sure at one point I was um wearing Pumas. They were black and white Pumas. I still have them. I still wear them. And the kids would say to me, "Why didn't you just go buy the proper Nikes, miss? Why'd you buy the Pumas? Is that because they were cheaper?" I was like, "Yeah, yep. Is that because they were more comfortable? I didn't want the Nike Dunk shoes. I actually liked the Pumas. I'd tried both on, but I wasn't going to justify myself to them. So I just smile and wave. It's just seventh period English, babe. I can get through this." Then you get the beautiful identity crisis corner era. So you get, let's go a bit of to and fro. Kid, mum, me, answers automatically, yes, darling. Oh, wait, not my child. Cue class collapsing in laughter. Yep, that's what happens. Or you might get the Miss versus Mrs. versus Ms. dilemma. I know I'm a Mrs. because I'm actually married and I have been for a very long time now. Yep. So now I get either two responses. You go to a high school and you get called Miss, 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 because they honestly just can't remember your name. And then when I go teach primary school, I get Miss or Mrs. depending on the grade because they forget. And I will politely say, oh, well, I'm a Mrs. because I'm married. I have a husband, so I get to be a Mrs. Wow, replies said child. You must be like 100. Right. Thanks, champ. I'm just going to hobble off over there to retirement because I'm done. Nah, you might get that a lot. I know I got called mum a lot, and I still do by quite a number of children, especially after a holiday break. And you think, how many times have you called out to your mummy in the holidays, my darling? Because I feel like their name was very much overused. But I do love to answer because I think it's just as embarrassing for the child as it could be for the person that they're talking to. So I like to just name it up. It's a little bit funny. Then, these are some good ones. I was actually sitting down with my mum talking about these things and saying, "Oh, mum, what sort of comments did we have when we were teaching from kids? Are there any that you could remember?" And her response was, "Probably not any that are appropriate," which is a little bit funny if you know my mum. But there is one that I do remember when I used to work in a school in particular, and I was doing some relief at the time, and my mum was there. Um, and my mum dyes her hair, as do I. Obviously, you get that lovely bit of regrowth that starts coming out. And quite often, if you've had foils or just a one colour, you get that nice, when you part your hair, the strip down the middle. Well, I can remember a small child politely saying to my mother, "Oh, I love your hair. It has a drag strip," then proceeding to pick up his toy car and racing it down the top of her head. So, yes, he thoroughly enjoyed the fact that she had a drag strip on her head. Then for me, so I can remember so my eyebrows are tattooed because I don't have any eyebrows. Like they're not non-existent. So when I was teaching for a few years, I actually went and got my eyebrows tattooed. So that's an experience all in itself. If you know, you know. Anyway, obviously with a tattoo, when you first get them done, they're really, really dark. So basically like Angry Bird energy, like I had awesomely dark eyebrows. I didn't factor that in because I got them done in holidays, but I didn't factor in that it takes like a month for it to go back to normal. So when I went back to work teaching my grade 5-6 class, I still had my Angry Bird eyebrows. So I just owned it. I didn't really like, I'm not two-faced, but I went and I obviously turned up to teach my class. The response from my kids was very interesting, but here I was pretending to just get on with my life and teach my beautiful class, and we were about to do a spelling test, and one of the kids puts their hand up. Miss, are you okay? You look worried." And then another one puts their hand up and goes, "Actually, you look like Batman, but in a good way." Thought, excellent. So now I'm vigilante chic. This is great. I thought, oh dear, I'm going to have to shut this down. So we started moving on and we started getting on with our spelling test. And then at the end, I went to ask a question and one of the boys, bless him, puts his hand up to answer my question. And I said, yes. We'll just call him Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy. And he looks up at me and goes, eyebrows. And then looked back at me and I went, pardon? And he goes, wait, what? Oh, oh, yeah. And then answered the question. But he got so embarrassed and the whole class just started laughing. And then, of course, you get the girls going, yeah, miss, what did happen to your eyebrows? So I just explained, I got my eyebrows tattooed. They're really dark at the moment. They're going to fall out. But that poor boy did not get over it. And the funniest thing is he was in my grade 5, 6 class that I followed to grade 7. So he still remembers that when I go teach him in grade 7 and moves on to high school. And I'm so sorry about that. But they were really dark. They were like scary. Like, yeah, I know. So I own that. But it was just those funny little moments that they have no filter. It just comes out. The same as when they walk past you and you might have put on a few kilos after winter and you get the, oh, miss, are you having a baby? Nope, sorry. That's just leftover baby from 2015 when I did have my 2 babies. So, yes, I did have twins and I did have a bit of excess weight there. Then you get the flip side. So now I've lost a bit of weight getting ready for summer. And now I get the other side, which is, oh, miss, you've got bones now. Bones now. Oh, I've actually had them the whole time. Fun can't talk. Fun plot twist there. My own child actually did that to me too. She was looking at my collarbones because they mustn't have stuck out before. And she was, what is that, Mum? What do they do? I'm like, it's called your collarbone. You've got them too. Oh, you've never had those before. Kids, again, have no filter. They are honestly like human Facebook posts, especially when it comes to their little tales from home. And again, keeping everyone anonymous here, but you have those children that come to school and, oh, miss, Dad had so many sherbets last night that he was spewing over the deck rail when I got home. Thought, yeah, I'm friends with that parent. I know what they were doing that night. Hi, guys. But of course, you don't say anything. You just politely say when they're at pickup something about what may have been mentioned at class today. Or you get my mum says that if the power bill goes up again, we're moving to Nana's. Thank you for that economic update, sweetie. I'm pretty sure we're nearly all in the same boat there. But you get them. Those little gems that we've all heard. Here's a few that some people have shared with me before too. When you're talking in the staff room, like these little moments, like stop sniffing the whiteboard marker. No, calculators do not go in mouths. Who stapled their sleeve to the display board? If you're bleeding, you do in fact need a Band-Aid, not a sticker. A sticker is not a Band-Aid. And you licking off your blood is gross. Homework isn't optional because Mercury is in retrograde. This was funny. This one was mentioned to me by a high school teacher because they had sent some work home and their parent had literally written a letter about the planets and how they weren't aligning, so the homework was not completed. Nice try. Nice try. We all try. Then, just to add to my high school experience, I think one of the hardest things that I had to deal with in that space was uniform, because we had to wear uniform. It was like uniform protest 101. Miss, do I have to tuck in my shirt? This is microaggression. I feel like you're doing things to manipulate my brain by making me tuck in my shirt. Wow. That's just not even a thing. Sometimes I just look and go, I have no clue what you just said to me. I just smile and nod. Oh, it's the uniform policy, mate. Sorry. And walk away. I was teaching one class and I was wearing like a leopard print blousey type thing. And I got told, oh, that leopard print just gaslights the vibe in this room. Really? I don't know. What? What do you kids come out with? Like what? Oh, yeah, your sneakers are slap for an old person. Oh, thanks. Oh, those earrings are TikTok core, Grandma. I love it. Is that a compliment or an insult? Because I have no clue. I get so lost. I think I just started writing things down to make it make sense or to ask ChatGTP later, like, what What is GYAT? Please don't go Google that. I know what it is now, but it's those things where I was too embarrassed to be like, "Oh, I don't know what that is." And I'm just gonna nod and pretend and be like, no, that's not okay. I was right to know that it wasn't okay. But yeah, sometimes you just need to be on TikTok to know what the high school kids are actually going to be talking about to make it make sense. Yep, that's just my advice there. Here's the last little bit. Rapid fire of things I thought I'd never say. Please remove the Lego from your nostril. We don't eat glitter. It exits looking the same. Stop air guitaring with my meter ruler. No, your Chromebook cannot marry her Chromebook. No, you can't vape essential oils at lunchtime and you can't vape at all. And yes, I can see you vaping under your shirt. What else would you have under there that then has little puffs of smoke coming out of your mouth after? Honestly. So, how do you cope without losing your mind? You got to laugh about it. That's why I thought I'd do this little mini episode to just give you a bit of a laugh. You might have some amazing, laughable experiences or quotes that you'd like to share. So, please feel free to send them in to me. I'd love to know what types of things you've encountered. As I said, I have a bit of a humor journal where I write down some of those ridiculous quotes because they do become comedy gold later. Sometimes you might need to take a deep breath and have a drink of water. I don't recommend doing them at the same time, nor do I recommend trying to have a drink of water when you're trying to hold back a laugh because it doesn't work well when it comes out your nose. Yep, again, speaking from experience. Share some of those little gems with your colleagues because laughter in the staff room is just free therapy. Maybe don't name everyone up though. And boundaries. Again, we've talked about boundaries before, but this one's for your kids in your class. Sometimes you need to set boundaries and say things like, that sounds like a question for your grown-ups at home. Then times that by 100. You can celebrate curiosity, even if it is ill-timed curiosity about things like drag strip hair or words that you don't know the meaning of. But teachers and parents alike, I know you've got your own gems. I want them. So send them to me in a DM on Insta. Drop me a voice note. We can compile a Kids Say the Darnest Thing classroom edition for a future episode, maybe. But I hope it gave you a little bit of a laugh. This is certainly not all of the things that I have heard. These are just a few little ones that have happened to me and maybe my mum over the many years now of teaching. Please make sure you share it with a teacher mate who might need a smile. You can also, I was going to say, you can see pictures of my curtain rail wardrobe. If you want, I could post them. I can post them on Instagram. If you're interested, please just let me know. Otherwise, I think you get the idea. The same as you can now picture my Batman brows, my Angry Bird eyebrows. No, they are nowhere near as dark as what they were, but I do have to get them topped up again. So I just make sure I plan that for summer when I'm not seeing millions of students. So remember, we might not be the only profession where we don't eat the glue. And that is just a constant part of our dialogue. But that is also something that makes us legends. So I'll catch you next time, legends. Stay aligned, keep thriving, and keep embracing the weird, especially those precious little nuggets of gold. Talk to you next time.